So I was looking here yesterday. I was making a list so when I move of all the I don't do the change of address at the post office. I simply, well, I've only moved 3 times. No, yeah, 3 times since I moved out here. So it's not I move every 6 months. But I don't do the change of address from the post office because I don't want to get a lot of that crap, again. So what I usually do is I just contact whom I want to know I have a new address. The important things like the vet and the VA and the license bureau, for the cat and everything like that. DMV, of course, but I just got my ID. It's brand new. I mean, brand new, and I'm not getting another one even when I move. I'll wait till that one runs out. Um, and different place, and of course my family, my brother. He's about the only one I write. That's my brother is in jail. He's the only one like I write. Right, I almost forgot to send him a Thanksgiving card. I was I went to the store last night and got my Thanksgiving cards and was filling them out, and right before I left him, oh my gosh, I forgot to get him one. And people who are incarcerated like that, that stuff means a lot because he said he keeps all my cards. It's just a shame how some people live their lives. It just doesn't make any sense. So um I made sure I did all that, and I mailed my daughter-in-law's birthday card. I mailed that last week so she can get it. I have to send my son's birthday card like this week. um I don't remember. I think I said that I'm going over one of my godson's house for Thanksgiving, so I don't have to eat. All I have to, all I have to do is eat and party, have a good time. And I haven't seen these guys. I never like see these guys ever, like maybe once or twice a year. So um that'll be a lot of fun. Their kids are just growing. Oh my gosh, leaps and bounds. So much fun. And I'll get to see a couple of people that like basically you don't see but once or twice a year. At holiday times you don't see them. So um pages, I'm trying to see. I just, oh my gosh, but I'm afraid to try that laser stuff because understand that leaving things out when you edit, whittle the pages down. I was saying I was going back through. I think I'm on book 10 right now, and it's just disheartening watching, the chapter, quote unquote, go from 109 pages to 55 pages. I'm like, oh my gosh, you wasted all that energy. And see, that's what I was trying not to do with the new book. And as a result, I messed up. So I'm gonna have to start that all over again. But I think I know now where I'm basically going to start it. I'm gonna start it, well, just like I said about Autumn. It's going to be rewritten and rewritten and redone and rewritten all, so much that I won't even recognize it by the time I'm actually through with it. I won't recognize it probably at all. Same thing with Autumn. um but I have been very, very good at backing up. I have been very, very good at cutting out stuff that, well, after you, well, the reason why I think one time I had said that give yourself some time between the time you write it and you edit it, because you'll see everything. I mean, I'm reading this stuff I haven't read literally in years, and I can see so clearly, what's where there's just rambling and going off on, tangents and stuff for pages and pages and pages. And also too, I'm taking really big chunks out because it's repetitive. I noticed that it's not, well, I think I talked about point of view on one of the other tapes. um I realized that I don't each character does not have to um um see everything from every point of view. I've already told the audience, what's going on. And then I don't necessarily have to have my main character, my female character, her friends, and every and point of view from everybody, to just kind of let the point of view be from one or two people, because you have to show the difference with people. But I don't have to do that. um like I said, I'm on book 10, about page 15, so I'm gonna really kind of get that done, because I really want to start on the second book, especially if I'm moving. And well, I know I'm probably going to be moving, and I just know what's going to happen. I'm going to end up commuting, I bet you, from Olympia to here. I bet you that's what's going to end up happening, because I get that job. But it sounds, like I said yesterday, or day before, Tuesday or whatever, the interview I thought went well. So we'll see. Because she said they were also interviewing today. So, which is Tuesday, Thursday. I interviewed on Tuesday. Today is Thursday. So, she's gonna probably call whoever she's picked maybe one day next week. And next week's a short week too. So I'm not gonna really feel bad unless I don't hear anything the next week. Because you figure, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nobody's going to be doing too much of anything. And if she's just finishing interviewing people today, then she will probably, not do too much. They're not going to do too much tomorrow, because they'll probably be all dragged out, tired of talking to people by that time. Um, so I probably won't hear anything till next week, but that's all right though. Even though, just as long as you got to get in there and plug away at it. Looking for work is just so depressing nowadays. But I think the problem is, in my case, it wasn't so much. I mean, I have a master's degree, for heaven's sake, but I think the problem with me was just getting motivated to do it. I mean, you don't feel like it, you just don't feel like doing it, and then when you get, backed into a corner and you have to do it, then that's when you call on everything you got. Let me see. Enough of that nonsense. Oh, and last night I got to catch up on some of my YouTube stuff because I just, it's just crazy stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff I'm subscribed to, and I actually have two subscriptions. I didn't look and see who. Probably my mom, and I don't think I subscribed to myself. Maybe my son did. I don't know. I didn't look and see who subscribed, but that's just fun to me. I can't believe I have 40 hits. That's so crazy. There's some crazy grandma somewhere, but like I said, class of 2114. Here I am. Here I am. I want to touch on food a little bit, as far as the 1800s and the old, um, in terms of the food. I've touched on it a little bit. Um, Basically, what I did was go through my mind trying to figure out, okay, what would they eat for breakfast? They ate a lot of starches, they ate a lot of carbs, and meat, and stuff that we don't eat a lot of now. But so for breakfast they might have like griddle cakes and apples, and well, it's according to what the season was. In the wintertime, for breakfast they probably have like bacon, or something like that, and then they'd have eggs or griddle cakes, or um, something like that, because people didn't have a lot of food back in that day. People didn't have a lot of food. That's why paintings you see from like the 16th century, 1450, is always fruit and food. The only time we take pictures of food pretty much is if we're eating something yummy right then. We might, take a picture. I don't, but might take an Instagram picture real quick with their phone and show, hey, look, this is what I'm eating. I take pictures of like Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas dinner, and stuff like that. I don't take a lot of pictures of food unless I make something cool, like cookies, or something like that. I might take a picture of something I think is cool. But back in that day, it really was not a lot of food. Eating 3 meals a day was not a given. not a given. Even two were not a given. And so, but of course, my character and her man are very well to do. They live on a farm, so they have enough food, to eat. But it's still beans and those kind of things. He didn't come home to a pasta salad. What is this thing? But also, what um I found, which was interesting, was when my characters go to New Orleans. Okay, they live in Upper Missouri, and of course, it isn't like it is now. I mean, I can have a lobster. I can go get a lobster right now if I want a lobster. I could, go walk out of here and get a lobster. I can walk out of here and get shrimp. I can walk out of here and get anything, pretty much there from anywhere in the world to eat. There's a market for it, but by her being from the South, being from southern Georgia, almost at the Florida border, she was used to eating shrimp and crab and those kind of things, rice, oranges, lemons, things that don't grow very well, on some where you can't get it all in Missouri. And it's one of the lines is that, oh, she really enjoys having fresh orange juice with her breakfast. She really loves having rice, with her dinner. She really loves having shrimp and fish. And it's a couple more things, that she has. These are the things from her childhood. These are the things from her life in the South. But also, in Missouri, she's exposed to like venison and things like that, that they normally wouldn't, that she normally probably didn't eat like in the South, stuff like that. In the second book, food is another issue because it's the occupation of Paris. So, food was very, very rare. My character in the second book, of course, they deal with the black market because where she works is a restaurant and a nightclub. So it's a restaurant and a nightclub, and they have black market, connections, so they can have crepes and cheese and things like that. But it's still a shortage. It's still an issue. Um, as far as the camp stuff is concerned, well, we know where food, you know, what food what the situation with food was in one of those places. You didn't get enough of anything. You didn't get enough of anything. Just watery soup with maybe a potato floating around in the top of it or something like that. It was just enough. Basically, the people that they didn't take to the gas chamber as soon as they arrived. Old women, women with children, children under 14, 15, maybe maybe a boy, a big boy could like pass for maybe 18 or something like that. um Twins were taken away immediately because there was experiments done on them, and I didn't know. I always thought that since I started studying World War II, I always thought that the reason that they experimented on twins was to have like a since twins that have identical DNA, like identical twins. I thought it was like where they would do a control. They'd use one twin for the control and use one twin to experiment on. But actually, what they were doing was trying to figure out a way that to make German women have sets of twins, blue-eyed, blonde-haired twins. That's even more creepy, if you think about it. Well, it's just incredible. So, of course, food um, in World War II, food in the camps, food back in the 1800s. It's a big deal made out of, well, one of my characters travels when she comes, not my main character, one of the minor characters, B. Remember, I was telling you her name starts with B yesterday. She travels to Missouri, and she's kind of taking the cheap, the cheap route, and the things she has to eat on the way. onion sandwiches, with on stale bread and tea, instead of coffee and stuff like that. And one of the things when she comes into a little money, when she actually robs a man and she gets some money, the first thing she does is go to get something to eat. And I can't remember if I took it out or not, but it was one scene she's traveling with another young woman, and the young woman and her fiance go to the tavern, the restaurant where a woman would be allowed, and they have this big steak dinner, this big pile of potatoes, and and corn and all this stuff, and my character stands outside and goes, the minor character I told you about, her first name starts with a B. She stands outside the window and goes, "Oh my God, look at that food!" Because she's literally starving. But then again, because she's addicted to alcohol, she isn't, and she's taking that opium stuff. Um she doesn't eat very well, and that's part of the problem. When she gets to Missouri, to the farm, she pretty much passes out on the front porch, and they have to take care of. So food was really an important thing. I had them drinking a lot of tea, um, cider, stuff like that. Alcohol, pretty much homemade wine. They have homemade wine that they make on the farm. There was a saloon, but you have to wait and find out what happens with that. But it's you have to read it. You see, it doesn't make any sense until you start reading it. Also, in the prequel, um, in the medieval thing, food is something, and it's nothing worse than reading a book and something's out of whack, like how they talk, and like it's out of the era. It doesn't make any sense as far as the era is concerned, and it's crazy when you read some things and they're eating this stuff, and you're like, no, they wouldn't eat that then. So in medieval times, basically, they cut everything with a knife and picked up the food with a knife. They basically cut it and they ate again. Like I said, it was a big dispersion between what the poor eat, just like nowadays, what the poor eat and what the rich eat. How often they ate if you were poor, if you were rich. In this day, yeah, we have a lot of hunger, even in America. I'm sure I can find somebody hungry within 3 blocks of, this place, I bet you, you know. But no, 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 I bet you I know. But the disparity between what the rich ate, what the poor ate, um, was even more marked, you know. Um, and I had to keep in mind different foods, because I think at one time I'd written something about. Well, actually, the only thing they in back in autumn in the 1800s book, the only thing they really had to buy was sugar and coffee, you know. And then of course the goods and clothing and stuff like that, and stuff for the house and stuff like that. But everything basically, and I also made them quite green, which of course didn't make any sense, but because everybody was green back in that day, when they cut down a tree they planted three, stuff like that, and the country and the planet wasn't a big mess like it is now. Anyway, so that was a lot that I had to look at. I mean, it's a lot of research. If you want to write something historical, that's just the problem. I think that's why a lot of people just write contemporary stuff, because they know what, it is. But I don't see anything exciting about getting in a car going anywhere. But when you get in a carriage or a wagon and go somewhere, that's pretty exciting. But like I said, the third installment of the trilogy does happen in modern times, but it happens about 1980, and I have reasons for that, which will come clear, when you start reading. It's, like basically what I'm doing now is putting down a foundation after people have read the book 50 million times. Um, and people see this, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know who she's talking about. I know who she's talking." It doesn't make a lot of sense now, but like I said, it's for my grandkids. I don't care. Um, so I'm at like 1941. I'm gonna go, because if it takes more than 20 minutes, it takes it forever for it to upload. So I'm gonna go and probably talk about clothing or something, and then maybe one more thing, and then eat my dinner, because I'm Great. See you guys.